Hi, this is Brandon Ford, and welcome to a very special edition of the Blind Rage podcast. For the very first time in all of my podcasting history, I have a guest, and a very special guest. His name is Adrian Mendoza. Adrian, say hi to the nice people.
Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm
Thank you
glad to
very
be here.
much thank you for joining me. I'm glad to have you.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
And because you are my special guest, I let you choose the movie that we're going to be doing commentary for. So, what movie did you choose?
Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
It is one of my all-time favorites. How about you?
It's mine too. It's great. I love it.
It goes up there for sure as definitely one of the movies that I've seen more than any other. Because I have do you have those handful of movies that you just know inside and out?
Yes, and Elvira's Mistress of the Dark is one of them.
Absolutely, for me as well.
Yeah, it's fun.
And because we are recording this live, there will not be any segments broken up. So we're just going to do a 5 count,
That's right. We're
and
going in raw.
we're going in bareback. And
Yes,
then we're
right.
going to start the movie.
Yes, yes, sir.
So, Adrian, what source are we watching?
I have no clue. I don't know. It's just something I downloaded.
Okay, so we are using an illegally obtained source, let that be known.
Fuck yeah.
And if you want to watch along, you can feel free to watch it on. Where is it? I don't even know where it is.
You can find one on. You can whatever copy. There's one on YouTube that someone uploaded that you can find. Yeah, it's available. I believe you can also go on Tubi, but there's going to be
I
commercials.
don't think it's on Tubi anymore, but Tubi still has Elvira's Haunted Hills, a movie that you said you're not a
So
fan of.
I'm not familiar with it. You know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it should be on Prime because everything's on Prime.
All right.
So,
Yeah. Should be fine.
all right. So, are you ready to get started?
Let's go.
So, I'm going to do a 3 count, and then after 1, we're going to get started.
Okay.
Okay? 3, 2, 1, go.
Here we go. It's playing.
We have the New World logo.
New World logo, the famous yes. Good
That New
times.
World logo reminds me of so many movies that I watched during my childhood.
Me too. Me too. Hellraiser. I think Hellraiser was a New World picture.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, that was good times.
And
Can you tell me a bit about this movie? Do you know this movie that Elvira was watching? Because I don't. I know it's a black and white movie. I know that it looks awesome, but I don't
so
know.
you don't know anything about the history?
No, it looks like a giant, as she describes, a giant Gumby on steroids.
I don't I don't know that movie, but my father knows it. My father grew up on a lot of these creature features, and he knows the actor, that lead guy there. I don't know his name.
Right.
But whenever I would watch it growing up, he would always say like it was brand new. They dubbed his voice. They dubbed his voice.
That's right. They did. I believe they did dub his voice. I do know that much.
I'm
And
not sure why, but
yeah, I don't either.
and
Maybe for rights purposes, maybe they couldn't find.
possibly. But Elvira said that this opening scene was autobiographical, that she was working for a station that was very much like this one, very unprofessional, and some of her coworkers were a bit sleazy. So it was easy for her to write.
I bet you can see though in that black and white movie a young Dick Miller. There was a young Dick Miller in that.
Was there?
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, he was one of the soldiers.
I never knew that.
Yes, a very young Dick Miller's in there. If you want to go, if you're
Well, then that's got to be a Corman movie then.
proud.
Because Dick Miller has been in pretty much every early Roger Corman movie.
Okay. Yeah,
He's been in like everything. Period.
yeah,
Dick Miller. Yeah,
yeah.
he's
Long
just
storied history in Hollywood. I mean, been in tons of flicks. He's always that guy that you've seen in movies. He's like, hey, it's that guy. You don't know his name, if you're not in the know, but you've seen his face.
Have you seen A Bucket of Blood?
No.
That is a 1959 Corman movie that was remade for the Showtime network in the 90s. And Dick Miller was the lead in that one. And yeah, they remade it with Anthony Michael Hall and Justine Bateman.
That sounds
Uh,
horrible.
it's not good.
Yeah.
No, it's not good. Um, but the character that he plays in those movies is Walter Paisley. And uh, Jim Wynorski, who can only guess is a big fan of A Bucket of Blood, has used that name in a lot of his movies for like just background or supporting characters.
Right.
You're familiar with Jim Wynorski,
Oh
right? With
yeah. Yeah.
Chopping Mall and
Mm-hmm.
all that good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I grew up on his movies too. Um,
I'm not a much of a horror lover as you are, but I've over the last maybe couple of years, I've learned certain names of horror actors and horror people who are kind of only do horror in that genre. You know what I mean? It's
mm-hmm.
yeah.
Sure.
But you probably have more of a you probably know more about it than I would.
Oh
I do.
yes, I'm very well versed,
That's good.
and I don't remember exactly what it was that I said, but I do remember emailing Jim Wynorski several years back, and he was very nice. I know that he's very nice to his fans, but he's not an easy director to work for. He's very, very
Mm,
temperamental.
I see.
And I was listening to an interview with him on a certain podcast that we are both familiar with.
Yes.
And Jim said that there were two actresses that he did not like working with because they were very difficult. And he said, I won't say their names, but they rhyme with Tanya Roberts and Jennifer Rubin.
That's too bad. That's too bad to hear.
Yeah. Well, Tanya Roberts, I'm not very familiar with, but I always like Jennifer Rubin, and I know what movie he's talking about with Jennifer Rubin because that was Wasp Woman. He did a remake of Wasp Woman in '95 that was also not good, but it's a movie that I like
And I believe
anyway.
Tanya Roberts, she passed away last month.
She did, yeah,
Yeah, she,
and this was way before.
the beautiful Tanya
Um,
Roberts, Jane. She was a Bond girl, and yeah, that's how I know her.
the only thing I know her from is that '70s show.
Yeah, she was on there. Yeah, a recurring character. I know her from being a Bond girl, and I think she was in kind of a I don't know, a fantasy based film from the 80s. I don't know the name at the moment, but you know,
Yeah, she did a
that
lot of B movies,
a lot of B movies. Yeah, but
and I believe in the '90s she did a lot of erotic thrillers.
awesome. That's awesome.
Would you believe me if I told you I've never seen a single Bond film?
I could believe, yeah, well, horror's your thing, but
It
that's crazy. That's
is.
crazy. I love Bond movies. I mean, even though they're not the greatest films, they're mostly known for their soundtrack. The Bond girls, but in the films wise, they're hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are shit, but there's some good ones.
I only saw part of Die Another Day because Madonna did the theme for that one, and I wanted to see her little cameo. So I
Yeah,
just,
I saw that at the theater, and it was a horrible cameo.
uh,
She's
for God's sake.
she's a horrible actor.
Uh,
Everything about her acting skills.
all right, so I think we're going to wrap this one up.
Yeah, it was nice being on the show. You're a huge Madonna fan,
I am,
Madge, as they would call her.
as I call
Yeah,
her.
as you call her, maybe I don't know.
I do. personally
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we communicate. Um, Speaking of worst actress, and I'm not speaking about match, but did you
Don't.
know
I
that?
hope you're not talking about Elvira.
Well, I don't think I wouldn't agree with this, but she won worst actress at the Razzies for
This,
this
you know, this
movie.
is a great intro for and Elvira. Her real name is Cassandra Peterson.
Sure,
She's. This is a great intro. She's great in this film. How dare they? You know, she got a Razzie for this one.
she did. She won. She beat
Uh,
out Liza Minnelli.
well, you know, but I think she's great in this film. I love her to death.
She has fantastic comedic timing,
Yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure.
and
Most
I always thought she
definitely.
was very, very funny.
Yeah.
And when she wrote with John Paragon, they were able to really bring the Elvira character to life with a lot of quips and one-liners and very witty dialogue.
Yeah.
There's so many quotable moments in this movie in particular.
It's very camp. I think this is a very much a gay film or an LGBT film. Would you agree?
Well, Elvira
I think it
definitely
has a large gay following.
it. Well, she has a large gay following,
She does.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think yeah, and
But I
I
think
did not.
it's the either if you're gay, you love it for one reason. Of course, if you're a straight guy, you love it for another. But
I don't think a
it's
lot of straight guys know who she is.
I don't know. I don't know. They may know her. They may
Her
have seen
assets.
her. Yeah, her assets maybe. But and this guy here at the gas station is has
That's
they've worked
that's
together many times.
that's John Paragon.
Jaron, yeah,
Yeah.
John Paragon. Yeah, yeah.
And she said that when they did this explosion, the car was on a flatbed being pulled,
I would
and
imagine so.
they could only had one take.
That's awesome.
And she said when the gas station exploded, she could feel the heat on the back of her head, and she thought her wig was melting.
That's awesome. That's cool. And the
So
guy who's a gas attendant, he played Jambi or Jambi in
Jambi, yeah,
Pee
on Pee
Wee
Wee's
Pee Wee's
Playhouse.
Playhouse. Yeah, I had no clue.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was
Speaking,
getting some info while before coming on this commentary. But that was really cool.
speaking of Elvira and her gay following, are you familiar with Seinfeld at all?
Oh yeah,
You watch that
great
show?
show, great show. Yeah,
Did you know that John Paragon was half of the gay couple who mugged Kramer for the armoire?
I did not know that, but that's a great episode. That's a great episode.
Yeah.
I need to watch that again. I haven't seen Seinfeld in quite a while. There's the
He wrote
explosion. That's a perfect. Yeah, that's awesome.
he wrote her books with her. I mentioned when we were talking the other day that did you know that she wrote some young adult books?
I do. Yes.
Have
Yeah.
you read them?
I have not. No, I've not read.
They're very, very
They're
funny.
very funny. And
Hmm.
here comes the whole hot dog on the chest. That's a
Oh,
great visual. Great visual.
yes.
Just
I'd be willing to
lap
bet that
right
it
on
was
the
her
rack.
idea. Yeah. I just like when she is putting the soda from hand to hand and she doesn't know what to do with it, so she just drops it.
Exactly. Well, the car that old doesn't have, I don't think, a carrier, a holder, a cup holder.
Probably
But
not.
it is a badass car. I mean, I would love to have that.
It doesn't run at all.
Oh, really? I love the town, the fictional town of Falwell, Massachusetts, making fun
Yeah, Jerry
of
Falwell.
Jerry
Yep.
Falwell, the '80s Christian right wing cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here she is. Yeah, you said the car. What do you say? Car doesn't run. It doesn't drive.
No, I don't think it does anymore.
Right,
But she takes it out. She'll bring it like to parades and stuff, and it gets pulled.
right. That's great.
I think it's actually illegal to have that thing driving on the road because of all the accessories and stuff, all the spikes.
And here's the introduction to the awesome Edie McClurg.
Mm-hmm.
She's, if you've seen an '80s film, she's in it. I can name just a couple off my head. Uh,
Well, Ferris Bueller comes
Ferris
to
Bueller,
mind, of
yeah, Ferris
course.
Bueller. She's great in that. What's another one? Let me see. Let me get some info from here. She's also in Mr. Mom.
I believe I saw that in theaters
Really?
with my grandmother.
Wow.
Yeah. I used to go to a
And she was also
really
she was also in Back to School. I remember just for a little bit. She was great in that one as well. But she's awesome. Every time she's planes, trains, and automobiles.
uh-huh.
She's great, and she's great in this film as
Chastity Pariah.
Chastity Pariah. That's right. That's her name.
Chastity Pariah can do. Bye-bye now.
It's great.
I love the scene in Ferris Bueller when she keeps pulling the pencils out of her hair.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, that's a great scene.
They were in the Groundlings together. A lot of
Okay.
people
Oh,
came out of the
I see.
Groundlings, out of that particular troupe
That's
that Cassandra Peterson was in. It was her and Edie and I believe Phil Hartman and Paul Rubens.
Just give me 1 second. There's a great scene in the old man looks at her and then just says "great tits," I believe, or "nice
Nice
tits."
tits.
Nice
Yeah.
tits.
I remember in the TV version he says nice dress.
Nice. Well, of course.
Have you ever seen the TV version, by the way?
God no. I don't think I would ever want to see the TV version. I would think
Well,
that they would cut the whole ending with where the Vegas show ends.
they don't,
They don't.
believe it or not, but they changed the music.
Well, that's interesting.
It's like a very patriotic sounding anthem. There's a lot of with a lot of horns. It's like something that you would hear on the 4th of July. I know I have no idea why they made that change, but that I always remember because I had the TV version recorded on a VHS when I was growing up.
I
I remember
see.
NBC played it because this was an NBC production,
Yeah.
and yeah, they changed that, and they also changed in the beginning when she quits, when she says, "I need this job like a leopard needs a three-way mirror." In the TV
Great.
version, she
Great line.
says, "I need this job like Roseanne Barr needs a three-way mirror."
Oh, that's horrible. That's a horrible. That's a horrible change. That's not funny at all.
Oh, okay.
To me, anyway. I don't know. Maybe it had you cracking up.
I don't. Well, I don't know how much the joke works either way. I don't think it's really fun to make uh, fun of lepers
I
either.
think they'll be okay. I think they'll be. They have enough fun. They have other things on their mind.
Sure. Yeah. Hmm. So when I was when I when I was growing up, I just automatically assumed that this was a hit movie because so many of my friends in school and stuff and everybody I knew had seen it and
Really?
everybody talked about it a
Wow.
lot, but it was a huge bomb.
Oh
It
yeah,
didn't even make
yeah,
its money back.
yeah. Horror. Yeah, yeah. Complete bomb.
Yeah.
Failure. Yeah, but it grew as a cult classic, of course. And I don't know how. I think I saw it on HBO. That must have been one of the ways I when I was a kid I watched it, and me and my siblings just loved it. We thought it was hilarious.
Hmm. So was this your first? Was this your introduction to Elvira?
I want to say yes. I believe so. I may have seen one of the um, her on television.
Movie
Late
macabre.
in the movie Macabre doing maybe Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Um,
Hmm.
but I really, pay, really knew about her from this film.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was great. I've seen it hundreds of times, and Jeff Conway is making his entrance into the film um,
Yeah.
as this scumbag.
Yeah, he plays sleazy very well, I would
He does.
say.
He does. And yeah, his name is Travis. And
He doesn't look like a Travis.
no, he doesn't. No, he and his little sidekick here.
The Dodo.
Yeah,
I don't know who this guy is. I've never seen him
I
before, and
don't
I've never
either,
seen
but
him
he looks
again.
creepy. And they're both play great creeps in this film. You also get the introduction to her arch nemesis in this film as well. I think her name is. Let's see. Do you know her name by offhand? Her character's name.
Who is it?
Her kind of her.
Oh, Susan Kellerman.
Yes, the woman who owns the bowling.
Patty. Yep.
Patty. That's it. Yes, Patty.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff. And you know,
And also this is Daniel Green as well, the love interest,
yeah, Bob.
who is completely. I don't know. I just he's a complete dope in this film. I don't know. He's wooden, and he just. I mean, that's maybe it's good for this movie, but he's.
I never understood what his deal was because you
There's something
have
off.
this
There's something off.
beautiful, yeah, you have this beautiful, voluptuous woman throwing herself at you, and he can't get away fast enough.
Yeah, yeah. There is some. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You would think that they would fuck immediately in this film, but
Oh.
he's afraid of her throughout this movie.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe she comes on a little too strong.
That's true. Yeah, maybe that is true. And he's not used to it, so he kind of escapes.
Maybe.
But
I
his
think he
acting
probably.
is terrible, especially in this part of the.
I don't think he's that bad. I
Oh,
think he does a fine enough job. It's difficult for me to be able to uh, criticize acting when it comes to movies that I've seen as many times as this one, and which it's difficult for me to be what's the word I'm looking for? Objective,
I hear you.
because it's just it,
I
it's
don't know.
been a
Maybe it's was he on the show? Because I know they did a she did a sitcom. Was he?
no,
Okay, that's
no.
strange. That's strange.
But there was a guy who was Bob Like on that show.
Right.
And could you believe it? That show was considered too racy for the time.
I can
That's why
believe
it
that.
never got aired.
I can believe that. That could
I
be.
don't think it was that bad.
I haven't seen it. I would like to check it out. I know.
Oh, you've never seen it?
No, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I liked it. It definitely has that pilot look and feel. Like you could tell that this was a skeleton and that it needed a bit of spit polish.
Right.
But I thought it was funny, and it definitely has Elvira's humor. Her character is from Manhattan, Kansas, where she's from, and I actually first heard about the Elvira show in the back of, I believe it was the first Elvira,
No, I'm sorry.
the first Elvira book,
Yeah.
which was Transylvania 90210. And in the about the author, there was this little blurb about her, and it said that she would be starring on the Elvira show for CBS. And I kept looking for it, and it never came out, and I never knew why. I would always wondered why they would put it in the book if they didn't have have the green light for at least a
Right.
few episodes.
Maybe they did, and it just something happened. So I don't.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
But if you see, if you're familiar with Elvira and the movie, then you would know what kind of jokes to anticipate. Like she plays a fraudulent fortune teller, and there's like cornball jokes like I see very big things in your future, and the camera zooms in on her boobs reflected in the ball.
Of course,
So
those are
it's pretty tame, I think, by today's standards. And I mean, if you look at shows like Two Broke Girls,
yeah,
that
right.
was very, very raunchy, a very raunchy sitcom. And I think the Elvira show would be considered a Disney movie by comparison.
Sure. Over the years,
Mm.
and
Hmm.
you have the introduction here in the film to the main antagonist, played by I think his name is Vincent.
Hmm.
Who is our
W.
uncle?
Morgan Shepherd. Yeah.
Yeah, who is just he's awesome in this.
Yeah, he's creepy,
Yeah,
especially toward the end when he becomes demonic.
that ending, the third act is just yeah, it's crazy.
It really does a 180 because it goes from this very light comedy
Light comedy,
into
kind of
something
this
very, very
horror,
dark.
yeah, horror fantasy kind of. There's lasers and shit. It's crazy.
There's dismemberment
This
when his hand gets cut
That's
off.
right. It's great. It's awesome. That's what's one of the great parts of the film. Um,
Yeah,
but last time I saw this actor, I think he was in Mad Men, and he was just as good and just as scary. Uh,
and just as old.
just as fucking old. But he's great in this film.
I've never seen Mad Men. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Mad Men is great, and you got to watch it. It's a great show.
And
John Hamm is great in it. Um, he has a huge cock that you can see
oh,
in his pants. It's really,
I've never seen the pictures,
it's
but
truly amazing. It's truly amazing.
from what I hear, it's very impressive.
It's, yeah, I think I can remember the season and the episode when I saw it, and it blew my mind.
Wait, he showed it in an
No,
episode?
but you can definitely see that. I don't believe he wears underwear. That's not a thing that he likes to
I
do.
don't believe so either
And
because
that's you could definitely you can see everything. There's
nothing to the imagination.
nothing left to the imagination, which was wonderful. Um, but yeah, I recommend checking it. It's also a great show. It's also like great drama set in the '60s. Yeah, really good. But
It was set in the 60s. I thought it was set in like the Depression or something.
no, set in the early '60s. Well, it starts in the early '60s, and yeah, it's a great show.
Is that right?
Yeah,
And they're all like corporate executives or something?
yeah, they're all a bunch of cunts, man. They're all a bunch of douchebags, and it's what's great about that show. You love them and you hate them at the same time. It's like they're well-rounded characters. You know what I mean? And it's very well written show.
I think that um getting back to the movie, we just finished the scene. I think that scene when she goes for the reading of the will is one of the funniest scenes in the movie and one of her funniest performances.
Yeah. No, she's great. She has this. She's goth. She looks goth, but then she comes off as this kind of dumb valley girl, kind of you know what I mean, like airhead.
Well, that's the character.
Yeah, yeah, and that's great. It really works. You wouldn't think it would, but it really does work.
That what Elvira was a character that she started doing on stage at the Groundlings when she was studying improv.
Hmm. That's the start of it, the introduction.
That was the nucleus.
Okay, that's
Is
all.
that the right word?
Sure, it sounds smart.
Um, yeah. And if what were you looking at the IMDb trivia?
Oh, I've been looking at yeah, yeah. But if you have any trivia, you could just go.
I was just going to mention about Paul Rubens because she wanted him to do a cameo in this because she did the
That would be
cameo in
great.
Pee Wee's Big Adventure. It would have
Oh,
been, but he was too busy filming the oh so wonderful Big Top Pee Wee.
that movie. Yeah, it's
Yeah, that was
horrible.
not good.
It's not good. It's yeah,
No.
it's a lot of
No, I remember sort of liking it as a kid and then not seeing it for a while. And then I found it like in the $5 bin at Walmart and trying to watch it, and it was painful.
yeah, it is quite painful to watch. I need to watch the original again. I have not seen that in years.
The original is a classic. I think the original still holds up.
Yeah, no, of course. I love the yeah. There's the introduction to the recipe book. Of course, that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how long it took her to get dressed as Elvira? It must have taken.
I don't.
I think she said
But I
once. I
Go
think
ahead.
I think maybe half hour to an hour. I think.
Something. I don't think it's anything, astronomical. But I think I remember in an interview that she said she had somebody doing her makeup, uh, and she didn't like it the way the person was doing it because they weren't getting the right look down. So she just said, "Fuck it, I'll do it myself."
Sure. And this is the transformation to Gonk.
Hmm. Yeah, I know somebody who named his dog
Gonk.
Gonk after this movie. Yeah,
That's great.
that dog was very, very nasty.
Oh, really? You,
Yeah,
you would think he was a cute. You would think he would be a kind of a cute dog.
you would think he'd be very sweet, but no. And that scene where, um, what's the guy's name who plays the realtor
Oh yes.
when he
David.
bites him?
Yeah.
He really bit him hard.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
The actors played as Kurt Fuller,
Yeah,
and yeah, he's great. He's great in this film.
yeah, he plays a good lech.
Yes, he he does. You know, I know him from this film and from the um, the awesome film starring Hulk Hogan, uh,
Oh,
which is just it's a great film. I don't have the name,
oh, because there's so many.
but I remember him from those two films, and he's great. He plays the same kind of character, kind of a douchebag.
When I was growing up, I had a friend who was obsessed with Suburban Commando.
Suburban. Oh, okay, okay. You know what? I never got into that. I never.
No,
No,
it was not good. But I don't know why, but this friend was completely taken with the scene where he drinks antifreeze for some reason, and it helped him with something. I don't know.
is that from the film? Is that
Yeah.
I know him from this film and from No Holds Barred. That's the name of the film,
Oh, okay.
and it's
You know,
yeah. It came out in 1989.
I did see No Holds Barred.
Yeah, you see. Were you Did you watch wrestling when you were a kid? When you were
No, I didn't, but my next, I think I told this story before, but, and I don't know why, because I don't think Hulk Hogan has ever come up in any of my previous commentaries, but I had next door neighbors who were very into wrestling at the time, and they didn't have cable. So they asked my father when I was growing up, if they could watch because they had the fight that night, and it was back to back with the movie. I
that's
think the
right.
movie
That's
played
right.
first,
It's
and yeah, it was like
been-
$30
that's right.
to
Yeah.
watch it. And I was not into wrestling at all, but because this was like the big event that everybody was sitting around the TV to watch, I watched it, and I've never seen it since then.
I only seen it that one time. I maybe twice, and it was when I was a kid. It was everything. Um, it looks like a piece of shit. I'm looking at a picture of it and it looks terrible. But at the time, it was like it was the biggest thing ever.
You were very big into wrestling.
Oh yeah, big wrestling kid. Yeah, my brother and I, we were a couple of chubby kids into wrestling. It was our thing.
Did you wrestle with each other? I don't mean it in a sexual way.
We did wrestle with each
Did
other.
you hurt each other?
No, no, it was nothing. No, it was, it was just two kids, But it was, we watched it all the time. Wrestling was, yeah, I think it was, I don't know if it was a weekly thing or a nightly thing, but yeah, WWF. One
Yeah,
of
I
the
remember
kids,
when it
oh, I'm sorry.
was called WWF,
Yeah,
and then it became what is it now? WWE or
I
something?
don't know. It's some bullshit.
But they changed, yeah. And WWF is like it's some sort of animal rescue now, I think.
I believe so. Yeah, yeah. One of the kids on here is also he also is in uh, one of the horny teenagers. He's also in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, part 3.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I he was one of my favorite characters to be when in the Nintendo game because he could fly.
See, I never played the game. I never that's never got to play that one.
It's not very popular, but I liked it. I
Huh.
thought it was fun.
Had no idea there was a game for Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't for 3. It was just a general Nightmare on Elm
Oh,
Street
I see.
game.
I see. I see. I love this this dream sequence here that
Hmm.
Elvira has. How old were you when you first saw this film?
Under 10,
Under 10. I think I probably was the same age. Maybe around that age. 10, 10, or yes, around there.
because I was 7 when it first came out in theaters,
Okay.
and
You were not lucky enough to go see it at the movie theater?
no, no, I wasn't. I wasn't lucky enough to be able to choose what movies we saw when my family went to the theater.
Sure. Oh,
When
okay.
when my when my parents would go, it was you're seeing what we want to see, and that's it.
Huh.
The only time that I think that my parents broke down and actually took me to see something that I really wanted to see was when Freddy's Dead came out because it was in 3D.
Wow. So you've been you've been a horror lover forever since you can remember.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
All right. Um. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I got into horror when I was a teenager. I don't know. I was kind of more of a well-rounded kind of action comedy.
Well, I always loved movies in general, but
Right.
I favored horror.
Sure. First, this is. I guess this would be the. How many montage scenes are there in this film? I think this is. I think there's only this one, right? There's another one later on when she's looking for a job, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah, but there's this is
Town
a
Without
great one.
Pity. Yep.
Yes, yes. This is a great one. A bunch of horny teenagers, boys, watching her spill lemonade on her tits. That's that's always
Yeah, Randy, the blonde. That was she wanted to get Brad Pitt for that role, or Brad Pitt auditioned for that role.
really
Hmm.
that's pretty cool.
Well, she talks about it on the um, behind the scenes or the commentary for the Arrow Blu-ray, and she said that he did a really good audition, but he was too pretty.
Yeah,
She said that anybody who would have been watching the movie would have said, "Why is she going after Bob and not this kid?"
right. Yeah, that's really well. Bob is no hunk to begin with. I mean, he's not.
No,
Yeah, you know what I mean. I wish.
no, he's not. He's very average
Yeah,
guy. But he played football. He played college football. That's why he's real big. And she said that they auditioned a lot of people for the Bob character,
wow.
and nobody could really get it. And
Okay. All right, all right.
I don't know if he technically nailed it per se during his audition, but I think that he had the look that she was going for the character, and he wasn't so piss poor of an actor that it would have been distracting.
Mm.
So
Even though he distracted me at times with his piss poor acting. He gets better. He gets better, I think, throughout the movie, and later on in the movie, he gets better. I think I don't know. I don't know what happens, but in the beginning, it's tough to watch him.
I like that part when
Yeah,
Edie
she
McClurg has her meltdown.
she's great. She's great in this scene. There's a great part. This guy here, I don't. He says something that he was making rounds in the boys' bathroom.
Yeah, the lavatory. What the fuck was that?
I
What the
didn't.
hell was
I
he
was
doing?
watching this a couple of months ago, and I didn't really notice that joke until then, just a couple of months ago, and it had me laugh out loud. It was hilarious.
Well, there was some weird stuff going on in schools in the 80s. I could tell you that. And in the 90s. Believe it or not, I knew two people in eastern Pennsylvania, in two small towns in eastern Pennsylvania, and they both told me the same story about when they were in junior high school and high school. They would have to, and they were taking a shower after gym. They would have to line up in front of the teacher before the teacher and open their towel to show that they were naked
Wait a minute.
before they got in the shower.
And these
Because kids would wear their underwear or whatever in the
Oh, I
shower,
see.
and that was frowned upon.
Yeah.
So
Who
they
gives a
had to
fuck?
open
I
their
mean,
towel in front of the teacher.
yeah, that's crazy. And
And
is that man now? Is he? Has he been arrested? Has he been?
I don't know. Well, no, this was two different people at two different schools, so this was
Oh, I
commonplace.
see. I see. That's crazy.
And I believe in the high school of the others, for the girls, there was a teacher who would sit in a folding chair and watch the girls shower, just to
Wow.
be sure that they weren't up to any shenanigans, supposedly.
Yeah. And she was. I'm assuming was uh, a very masculine lesbian. I would.
I would assume so. Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
I don't.
That's a dream job for her.
I guess.
Man. Oh my god. Yeah,
Did
gym,
you ever?
gym, gym in middle school and high school was a torture. It was so weird. It was just such a bizarre kind of.
Did you ever have to take group showers?
No, no, I wouldn't.
Neither did I.
No, it was frightening. The gym.
Yeah, I remember being petrified of that in elementary school,
I was
thinking
a
that.
I was a chubby gay kid. Just here. Wait, here's the second montage, and this is what's the song again? You know the song that
With the
the
tone without
A
pity?
Town Without Pity. Yeah, it's great. It's a great song. That's a great montage. I love this here. Great scene.
I
Great.
like the sped up voices
The
that they
sped up
do there.
voices is it's a that
It's kind of like in A Christmas Story.
yes. Yes. But I love the two gossips,
Hmm.
spreading the craziness throughout town so they won't hire her.
Hmm.
In the meantime, the two creepazoids are trying to find a cookbook and are eating edible panties, which is
I Were they though? Because to
I
me
don't know.
they just look like giant shredded fruit roll-ups.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it. It's great.
I don't
Jeff
know.
Conway at his best in this film, I
Oh,
believe.
okay, yeah. Yeah, he was a mess. I don't know how reliable a source he was, but he wrote in his autobiography that when they were filming Grease, he woke up in the middle of the night and John Travolta was doing stuff to him.
I would like to believe that. I would hope that happened.
Uh,
Well, Jeff Conway is he's kind of cute. He's cute in this film. He's kind of a look
he doesn't look healthy.
at this point. Well, he's look
He has that look, that
being an
Willem
actor
Dafoe
is
look, where
tough.
he has that like I'm a lifetime smoker look.
Well, he's. I guess when you wake up and you see John Travolta trying to blow you or nibbling on your balls, you kind of you,
Oh god,
you're not the same after that. I don't know.
nah. Did you see him on Celebrity Rehab, Jeff Conway? That
I
is.
did. It was great. It was great
Oh my
television.
god, that was a train wreck.
It was a great television, and God bless Jeff Conway.
If you say so.
That's a great one liner. Yeah, when Bob drops the letter on her head and
How's your head?
asks her how's your head, and she answers, I haven't had any complaints yet. That's great.
Believe it or not, when I was a kid, I didn't get that joke.
Well, I mean, 99% of the jokes on here, it went over our head, of course.
Sure. Yeah.
But it was I don't know. We just loved the kookiness of it.
hmm Did you own it as a kid
Yeah, I
on
had the
VHS?
videotape, had the VHS, and showed it to my nephew, who is, I think he's 20, 23 now, but he would watch it every day. This is also a great scene when she is she yeah, it's Chastity Price sees how to fuck on
How
here.
to fuck. Yep.
Yeah, she's it's brilliant. Uh, it's great. But yeah, I had the cassette, and it was pretty awesome.
What did you have, the actual what was it? The New World one, or did you have a budget VHS? Cuz
It was,
I had the budget
I had
VHS.
the New World. The New World title would pop up.
No, no, no.
I'm
The
assuming.
actual the actual issue.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Because the one that I got was it was in Krabby EP mode, and it was Star Maker home video, and it had a gold trim around the VHS box.
I may have had that. I don't know. I don't recall. I don't remember actually.
You don't remember the days of those crappy EP mode VHSs that you used to get in department stores for
No,
like $10?
I don't remember it. No, I may have not had that. I may have had just the
The
original.
official one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here is the warlock going into
His
his
chambers.
chambers, is in the bowels of the building.
He looks very priest-like.
We especially with the robes that he has, the
Yeah.
candles. He's calling upon the demons,
The dark
the dark
forces.
forces.
Sure.
Sure, why not?
As you do.
As you do. I hope when I'm his age, I get to call on the dark forces.
hmm Stop the aging process, get back at a few enemies.
I don't know well, they haven't helped him. He's very haggard in this film.
No. I just get back at people who don't follow me. Follow me back on Instagram.
I guess so. But he's I guess I don't understand this scene. Is that the great aunt Morgana kind of upset that
When she says if my great aunt wasn't dead, I'd kill her, and the floorboard smacks her in the ass.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's
Jamal. I love when she says Jamal. I know it.
I like this. There you go.
I also love the scene. Another one of my favorite scenes, and I think um, has her best comedic timing. I think, are way yeah, we're for sure way past it when um the great uncle comes to buy the book and she's trying to sell him the house.
Yes,
And she does the whole, if you act right now, you also get all this beautiful furniture.
you got yes. They already got that one. She's gonna know that the book is very important.
It's a gem, a jewel box, a love hutch for two. I'd bend over backwards to make you a deal. I'll bend over forwards. I'd
Yeah.
stand on my head and eat a bug.
Can
I
you
know this
recite?
movie
Can you
inside out.
recite that all the lines and stuff?
Yes. Yes.
Wow,
Again. With dialogue as brilliant as this, come on.
it's great. I wonder how long it took them to make this film. It kind of was. I wonder if it was like one of those took 2 weeks. Let me see.
Well, it was a low budget movie. It only had a $7 million um, budget, and it didn't even make that back. But it was still a studio film, so I would say they probably had at least a month.
Yeah.
It was probably a 4 week shoot, I would guess. Did you know that in the original cut, or at least from what I read, I remember reading that the performance at the end wasn't in the movie?
No, I did not. The ode
The
to
Las Vegas show.
I thought you were talking about the ode to Flashdance. The that she
Oh no 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 no! The very end, the Las Vegas show.
the Las Vegas.
That whole sequence was not in the movie.
Oh really? Well, if
They had to go back and film that on an NBC in NBC studios.
and you know what, it should have been cut. I don't think it should have. They should have
What?
because it's a bit much. By the end, you're like, okay, let's end this film. I think it's.
No, I disagree.
I think by the time they get to the Las Vegas show, it kind of wears out its welcome.
I totally disagree.
It's like, all right, we can do without this.
It's very over the top, but it's fun nonetheless.
Yeah. Some of it is fun. Some of it is okay.
Elvira rapping is a bit
Oh man,
much,
that's bad.
but it's
See,
still
I could see
fun.
Brad Pitt as this guy. I don't know. I can see Brad Pitt in this film. That would have been awesome.
He's cute though. The one
No,
who
this actor,
shows.
yeah. And they're all going to go see Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
A movie that I've never seen to
Neither
this
have I. I
day.
was just going to ask you if you'd seen it. I've never seen.
No, I never had any desire to because it just looks dumb.
Exactly. It looks fucking stupid. But
It doesn't.
maybe it's good. Maybe we're both wrong.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's one of those because it was obviously intentionally bad. But when you have movies that are intentionally bad, they're very hit or miss. I think the ones that fall under the so bad it's good category are movies that were actually trying to be pieces of cinema.
Yes. No. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And they just.
But then you got one of like those stupid Sharknado movies that are intentionally
No,
bad.
those aren't.
No, I have no interest in them.
See, this looks. I don't know. They show bits of it, and it looks. I don't know if it looks. Would you want to see it?
No.
Maybe the giant. See, that looks interesting. I don't know the giant tomato.
Well, I always notice the scene where the giant tomato is chasing the woman in the parking lot with the shopping cart, and you can see that it's on a plank on wheels, and somebody's pushing it.
That's filmmaking right there. That's awesome.
This is stupid. This ending so bad. The tomatoes
I'm
ought
sorry.
to start throwing. I said the ending's so bad that Tomatoes ought to start throwing rotten people at the screen.
I like that she's doing that. She's kind of, what is she doing? Doing her
She's doing her
her
commentary.
shtick throughout the film.
Yeah.
See, that looks pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, I'll check it out. And I'll see if it's good.
I think the second one is on Tubi.
I would say, yeah.
Return of the Killer Tomatoes. That was an animated series too, I remember.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't think it lasted very long.
Yeah. Did any of
The
your
leg
siblings like
warmers.
this movie as well? I mean, was this something only you liked growing up? Or did your parents like it? Did your parents like, what is this shit?
I had friends who enjoyed it. Everybody that because I showed it to a lot of people. My parents, I think, were not the demographic. They were a little too old to appreciate the humor, but I think they enjoyed it the one time that they watched it.
This is great. Yeah, I like the cutaways where you could tell it's not her who's doing the flips in the scene.
It's like that episode of The Golden Girls with the Betty White double.
See that I've never seen that episode, and
oh my god,
I'm a huge fan of the Golden Girls.
You never seen that one with the dance contest?
If I did, it would have been years ago. Haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah, there's a double who's like clearly a train dancer, and she's doing flips and stuff with a wig to look like Betty White, and it's so ridiculously not her that it's funny.
Is that how you get rid of the tar? What did she pour out?
Gasoline? I don't know. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, me neither. It's a strange, maybe.
And then I hope that with that little scrubbing brush that she's cleaning herself with always reminded me of a rat.
Well, it's very gray. Yeah, it's very gray, and I'm like,
well, it's probably gray because of all the tar.
Yeah,
but it still looks like a dead rat that she's cleaning herself with.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's a dead rat.
It might be. Well, no, not with her. Her PETA background.
Oh, yeah. Is she a vegetarian as well? I'm assuming she's a vegetarian.
I would assume, yeah. Do you know about her when she was burned? The accident when she was.
I did. Yeah, I learned this from listening to another podcast. I was going to give them a shout out, but I completely forgot the name of the podcast now. But yes, I learned from listening to them. It's like 3/4. It's what portion of her body?
A lot of it is her back. And that's why the Elvira dress is cut so that it hides all the scar tissue.
80s movie graveyard podcast, I think.
Oh, okay.
That's where I heard. That's where I learned.
I believe I've listened to
commentary on this film, and they talked about that. So it's mostly her back.
It's mostly her back, yeah.
And it's kind of crazy that she was able to do that scene at the very end. With the fire and everything, you would think that she would kind of be pretty gone.
Well, she was a baby, when it happened. I think she was like 2.
Oh, wow.
She's lucky she didn't die.
Yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Because her mother was boiling Easter eggs.
Oh, God, yeah. Wow.
And it's interesting because he would have been my great uncle. It was my grandmother's. No. He would have been my. Wait, hold on. I'm confused. I think he would have been. Yeah, my great uncle. It was my grandmother's brother. On New Year's Eve, my family, my father's side of the family, had had a little gathering, and they had one of those really old timey coffee percolators, and he was 7, and he knocked it over, and he had like first degree burns all over most of his body, and he died from it.
Oh wow.
It was that bad.
Wow.
And they didn't have coffee in the house because of it for years after that.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was really bad.
That sounds terrible.
Okay,
This
that
this
was a
is a great
downer.
scene. I'm sorry?
I said that was a downer.
No, 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 no. That's
I brought the room down.
no problem. It's no problem. This is a great scene though when she's going through the cookbook and trying to make a casserole. And
Hmm.
this is
You know, I always thought what she was cooking looked fucking good.
yeah.
I always wanted to eat it, especially when she put the cheese and the chips on it.
It
Am
looked
I crazy?
no, no, you're not crazy. It looked pretty tasty. It looked pretty tasty.
And I never understood when she said, because she says, she's making a casserole, but when she bursts through the doors and she says it's soup,
Yeah, no,
or maybe she meant to, maybe the line was meant to be soups on,
I don't
because
know
that's,
what
usually
that
what they
line was.
say,
Yeah.
people say when, dinner's ready. But yeah, she for sure says it's soup, but it's not. That fucking thing was scary too.
It's great for the time and for probably the budget. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's a great the monster that pops out in a minute. They did a great job.
Mm-hmm. I
I'm
wouldn't.
pretty sure it's a Muppet or a puppet of some time. So
I like when they put it in the sink and first you see the tail flapping and then his head pops
yeah,
out
yeah,
too.
yeah. That's great.
How they were able to get that thing down the garbage disposal, I have no idea.
There.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really great. It looks great. It's
she's beating it with the pan.
this must have been
Bob,
you must have loved this when you were a kid when you saw this monster.
that monster.
Yeah.
Well, I was not really into creature features.
Oh, okay.
I was a slasher guy.
Oh, I see.
That's where, because there a lot of people have their subgenres. The zombies or
Mhm.
vampires or cannibals. I was always a slasher guy. I really wasn't very big on supernatural stuff. First time I was an appetizer for the main course. When he says, "Where'd you learn to cook?" It's just I didn't. You're grounded for 1 week. He's cute.
He
It's
is.
hard to
Right, you know what? I
imagine
love
he's
this scene.
vicious.
I'm sorry?
The dog. I said it's hard to imagine him being vicious.
It is, yeah, but some dogs are shitty. I do love this scene, even though it's a lot of I guess you would call it a
Exposition.
exposition, yeah.
Well, everything is explained in that one letter.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
The whole story is explained in that letter. And I like the shrunken head. I think he used to go out with this guy. I could, yeah, I could quote this whole movie from front to back. I've seen it so many times. So, did you have Movie Macabre um, in Texas when you were growing up?
No, I did not. At some point because I have seen an episode, but I don't know, I was too young, or I was, but I do remember watching an episode. I don't know what channel. I don't know, what time. It was just at late at night. I remember seeing her talk about a film, or yeah, and it seemed interesting, but I just never got into it.
I we didn't have it here because it was all those horror host shows were syndicated, and there's a documentary about it. I think it's called American Scary, and it talks about all the different horror hosts from all over the country and their shows. Um, she was kind of like Elvira. Her name was Stella. She was a very busty um, character. Um, and I think she came on Saturday nights after SNL or something like that. But I was young to remember that too, because I do remember asking my parents, because I knew that Elvira had a show, and asked, "Does it come on here? Did we get it here?" And I remember my father saying, "No, we had Stella."
Do you remember what she looked like? Do you have a recollection? Do you?
I never saw the show, but in my pediatrician's office, there was an autographed picture of her front and center in the waiting room, um, an 8x10 and she wrote, "Thanks for the pint of blood. It was delicious."
So yeah, I guess okay? Born and raised in Philly, so that was
Hmm.
your horror hostess. Was there any other uh, in that area? Just her?
As far as I know,
What about later on when you got older?
no. I think that the era had passed.
Yeah, yeah. There was just, I guess, that short time. I guess from the '70s to the '80s.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that movie Macabre had just come to an end when she did this movie. And there were supposed to be more. Um, I think, they were going to make an Elvira franchise, kind of like Ernest. Had
That would have been great.
It would have. And that's why I always said that um, Haunted Hills might have been better had they made it a little closer to Mistress of the Dark,
Mm,
because they were going to do a follow up, but the New World went under, and I don't really think that anybody wanted to touch another Elvira feature after the bomb that this
sure,
was.
sure.
So, um, but it would have been, I think, you know, and I remember being really, really excited for Haunted Hills, and it took forever to come out on DVD. It played film
When did
festivals, and
when did it actually come out?
I believe it came out in 2001 or 2002. I think it might have it started playing film festivals in 2001, and then it had a DVD release in 2002.
This is a great scene when she's, putting the casserole for the morality club picnic, and
It's an aphrodisiac.
yeah, and it turns everyone into a hornball. And Chastity Pariah, who you see in the scene, she sits on some dude's face, and it's great.
Is this face taken? You see when they're drinking Slice? Remember
I do
Slice?
remember Slice, yes. And I don't know. I want to taste the Tic Tac pie. It does sound, does look disgusting, but I don't know. It may look good. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Maybe there's some.
That always reminds me of something. Um because there's a kid who lived on the block. His name was Kevin. He was a kid that I used to watch. He loved this movie, and we used to watch it over and over again. I think he loved it more than any of my other friends. And during this scene, he decided he was going to quote it. But not only did he say the name wrong, get the wrong name, but he got the wrong pie. I
What
just
did you
remember him saying something like, "Oh, look at Alice, it's your tic-tac-toe pie." And
What
I
happened to
thought it was the funniest fucking thing I'd ever heard.
what happened to this kid? Do you still hang out with a lot of the kids?
No, he's older now. He's got two little ones of his own.
Oh, one quote is from Elvira that's great is "Revenge is better than Christmas."
Better than Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. Right before they open the top to the pot. Yeah, this is great. It's a great scene. And what's the song that's being played? I don't know the. I put a spell
What,
on
the bringing in the sheaves?
I'm sorry.
The bringing in the sheaves?
No, the the song here. I'll put a spell on you. I don't know who sings.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Who the artist
I
is.
think, yeah. I don't. Oh no. Yeah. This. Yeah.
This
That's
is
why I put a
yeah.
spell on it,
I love
but
this.
it's from
I love
my.
the hot dog and the taco. It's just such.
That was pretty risque, I think.
That's great. That's a great.
I'm surprised they didn't get an R for that.
And there she is. She's a horn dog, man.
She finishes the pot,
She finishes up. Yeah.
and I have to say, it still looked good
It does.
when
Yeah.
she opened it up.
It looks good. It looks like a. I would try it. It's great. And there they are. They're all dancing to it.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess even the band got some.
Oh yeah. This is disgusting when she puts the mustard on that dude's ear and starts sucking it.
I never noticed
That
that.
always gross me out. That was gross.
I never noticed that
No,
before.
come on. That was a. And there's Uncle Vincent. Kind of, he knows what happens. He knows just what she did.
Uh huh. And he thinks he's going to get it for $500 now. Really? The tuna truck. That's a good line. And I love the look that she gives him when he's trying to put her in her place, and she just like squints her eyes and goes, like mocking him.
She's creeped out by him.
Well, she is at the end because she flinches.
I had a chance to see this at at the theater. I think they had a showing of it, and I just didn't get a chance to check it out.
Oh no! Oh, at the Alamo Draft House.
Either there, I also go to there's another theater, the Texas Theater, that they'll do showings of certain films, and
Hmm.
this was one of them, and I got to go next time. It'd be great to see this on the big screen. I also went to see A Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time there, uh,
Hmm.
past October.
Well, that would have been um, ideal to see it for the first time on the big screen.
Yeah, it was on. Well,
I,
they had a 35 millimeter copy of it, which was great. And
I can't believe that was the first time you saw it.
yeah, this past October, yeah. I guess I never.
This past October. Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
this last year. I just thought it would be like the rest of them. I had seen part three, and it was like, well, it's I'm pretty sure it's like that.
Let me ask you something. When you at your showing during the scene when Nancy looks in the mirror and says, "God, I look 20 years old," did that get a big laugh?
Oh yeah, definitely. Everyone who was there had seen it. You know, they were howling with laughter or screaming, howling. They were laughing at the mom. The mom,
Yeah, and when I saw it too. Yep.
and the mom was just so the acting on her was.
Oh God, she was terrible, and she won an Academy Award for something
Oh
in the
really?
70s. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, Renee Blakely.
Yeah, but that's a yeah. I really enjoyed that film. Those are really cool. Those are really cool film. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting that. Are we now at? Would you say this is now the third act of the film, of Elvira, where they've
Yeah, I would say it's the beginning of the third act. Yeah, because she's
it's a great scene. Great.
they're getting ready to burn her at the
They're
stake.
burning.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's in the jail cell.
that's and then they have the little one for Gonk.
Yes, yeah. I was watching earlier today. I was watching another podcaster. They were doing one of the Dead series. What is it? Dawn of the Dead. Uh, I don't know. If
Yeah, I was
you're, I
never
don't know if
into
you're
those.
ever. Are you a fan of Dawn of the Dead? I don't know if that's a.
No, I know it's a hot take to say this, but I think it is insanely boring.
It is. It's too long. I remember seeing it at they had a showing of it at the Alamo Draft House right after Romero passed away, and man, it was towards the end. It was hard keeping my eyes open. It's way too long.
I don't like those kinds of movies.
Really, I
Especially the kind when like the military gets involved and everything, it just puts me to sleep. I think it blends the action genre too much,
really.
and I'm not
Oh,
really an action guy. Yeah, because when you got they break out the helicopters and the military gets
sure,
involved,
sure,
they
yeah.
start dropping bombs and shit. No, that doesn't really appeal to me. And I tried to watch Day of the Dead too, and I think that one's a tighter movie. I think that one's only around 90 minutes,
Yeah,
but
it's a lot
I
better.
didn't like that one
Yeah, it's a
either.
lot better. I mean, if I in my it's for me, Night of the Living Dead is the best one. It's Night, Day, and Dawn. If I had to put them in order, but Night of the Living Dead is great.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I like Night of the Living Dead for sure. That was a classic. Um and it was very controversial for the time.
Oh, definitely, yeah, yeah, and ahead of its
Did you
time.
know that uh God, what was his name who played the lead actor, the black guy?
Shit, I don't know his name.
I can't remember his
Yeah,
name.
his name's
But he wasn't even intentionally written as black.
no, no. They just Romero
They
just
said he was the best.
he
He
was
was
the
the
best
best
guy on
one to
there.
audition.
Yeah, I thought, which is very cool.
Hmm.
And in a
Yeah, that
way, I
was.
don't know. I think it's kind of bullshit. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's lying. I don't know. I kind of don't believe some of the things Romero says, or maybe
Well, yeah,
yeah,
I've heard that he has stretched the truth in certain
yeah,
circumstances, but that's one I would like to believe.
yeah. But yeah, Night of the Living Dead ahead of its time. Just like this film is ahead of its ahead of its time. I think this is
I think it still holds up.
but this one and Night of the Living Dead. Yep, they both films hold up. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I was talking about Mistress of the Dark,
Oh,
but
oh, definitely, yeah, definitely. Mistress of the Dark holds up. Yeah, for sure. I think I dig the special effects as well in this film.
yeah, and we don't have any CGI. We
No,
have all the practical effects, like with
I'm digging the
the monster.
I'm digging the practical effects.
Oh, I always loved practical effects.
Yeah,
And I know it's cliche to say that because everybody seems to hate CGI, yet it runs rampantly especially in the genre.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you're so big into the Marvel movies, where they like film so
Oh, I
many of
dig
them
it.
right in
I
front
love
of
it.
the green
Maybe because
screen.
I used to I read comics when I was kid. I still read comics, but I don't know. It's I love it, and the CGI can be really shitty in those movies, and I can still dig it. But
I I only liked Batman and the Tim Burton Batmans.
oh, those movies are great as well. Yeah, those movies are awesome. Yeah, the Tim Burton '89 and the '92 Batman are great.
I saw the first one in theaters. I remember
I
that.
did too. Yeah, I did too. It was great. We're now gonna. She's now tied to the stake and is about to get
How
burned.
could this how could this be legal?
You know, in Falwell, Massachusetts, I think something like this would be legal. Would probably be legal. It
The
would probably.
fictitious Falwell, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I think I used that that town in a short story or something
Oh, really?
as an homage to this. Yeah.
That's funny. I like how Patty. You know, you think that Patty's going. She's come to her senses and she's going to help Elvira, but she's actually helping by spreading the fire around, and so it can easily so it can burn Elvira faster and get to her faster.
Yeah. No, Patty is
She's a
a
lost cause.
leopard. She's a leopard. Yeah, that doesn't change her stripe or pat spots. Because even toward the end, she shows no real remorse.
That's true. That's true. Her
One thing I
heart,
never got,
flat chested heart. I'm sorry.
yeah, one thing I never understood about that end sequence, though, when you think it's supposed to be a lynch mob, but it really wasn't. If it really wasn't, why was everybody carrying, shovels and fucking
Well,
big
you know,
three-tined forks?
they brought him with them, and they just, they didn't want to leave it there at town square. I guess
Oh, well, okay, yeah, sure, that makes sense.
maybe that's it. Maybe they didn't want to leave it.
I know I'm getting ahead of myself though, but in that scene when everything's over and the house burned down, and she realizes that she's not going to go to Vegas, I always genuinely felt bad for her, even though I know what's going to happen.
No, yeah, no, totally, totally. She totally sells it. And you're invested at this point. At that point,
Hmm.
this part is great, and the guy who plays Bob, he really gets into it, and really sells it.
I never really thought that he was as bad as you say.
The eclipse is gonna start. He's I don't know. Maybe he's finally not. Maybe he was kind of scared in the beginning. I don't know how they and here's Uncle Vincent. He's with the fog machines really at
Mhm.
100% in this film. And
Have you ever smelled the smoke from one of those things?
yeah, I mean, well, I don't think it has a smell because we had a fog machine. On Halloween we would blast it out.
I worked at a Party City for over Halloween one year when I was 18, and they had one um, where all the really expensive masks were, and they wanted to have some ambiance, and yeah, it smelled.
Like
It's
what? What's the smell? Like what is like
I don't know. I
like
don't know, but it
burning
wasn't a good
hair
smell.
or just
It's yeah, like burnt hair a little bit.
I don't remember a smell. I don't remember. But yeah, Halloween we would have the fog machine or the dry ice. We would try to do it up for the kids.
Uh, mm.
I don't know how,
My
how it was for you, and
No, nothing like that at all.
no,
Uh-uh.
your parents didn't give a shit.
No, not really. They
That
always gave out candy, but that was about it.
was about it. Yeah. No, we tried to do the. We did. Yeah, we did the music and the lights and all that shit. This, it does become kind of like a Marvel movie towards the end with the with all these light effects. I'd have to say
Well, I wouldn't
it gets
call
kind of
them.
better,
Yeah,
but yeah, it gets kind of
I wouldn't call them CGI though.
no, but it does
They
become
were
the action film. It does, especially when she does
when
her
she
own.
becomes Rambo.
Yeah,
Sort of, but it's comical. And what the hell was that giant thing?
what giant thing?
The you looking for me? She fires
It's a
at him.
giant kind of bazooka. It's one of these fucking big dick guns that that action stars would don,
Okay.
and it doesn't work actually. 'Cause
That
it's powered by magic.
no. Did you think you could stop me with your toys? Yeah.
He's great in this. His evilness really.
No, but I figured it'd be worth a shot.
Yeah.
Look! And I like the way she drops it,
She,
but the way she drops it, it's like, ew.
yeah,
And runs
exactly.
away.
And I like her. She changed her whole get up. It's now she's no longer in the dress. And look at she's jumping
She's
over
not a vamp.
fences. She's now an action star, and she's
Sure. A very sexy action
very
star.
sexy.
A very sexy Rambo, female Rambo.
And of course, like all action stars, she's fallen down. That's the kind of
Of
the
course,
trope
yeah.
of. Yeah, it's great.
And she does not rip her
Music.
hose, does she?
I'm sorry.
Does she rip her pantyhose?
I
Her
think she
fishnets?
has. Yeah, her fishnets. The music is great as well. Towards the end, it really. And there goes her shoe.
The heel. Yeah, I like that the way the blood comes out when he pulls it out. I wonder how they did that. But that had to have been practical effect.
All of it. Yeah, it must have been. And her giant tits, save her by busting open the gate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is gross when the trickle of blood is coming out of his head.
That hurt.
And
Hurt like
then
a
you get to see your favorite actor. What's his name? Yeah,
yeah.
this is his last
Jeff
Jeff Conway. His last the last scene in the film. You know,
Um, what do you think? Was he really? Do you think he would really have raped her in
yeah,
that
yes, I think
scene?
he would have. Yeah, I think the actor Jeff Conway would have raped. Yes, I think, or the character of. I think both the character and the actor. I like this kind of shaky cam effect, which is great. But yes, I think Jeff Conway would have would have raped.
Why was the curtain attached to the door frame?
It's maybe that's how Elvira liked it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the she dug the look. This is great. The hand gets chopped right off.
Yeah.
It's still choking her too. Still attacking.
Uh-huh. It's it becomes Ash's hand.
Exactly. Yes, it does. His powers have grown now. He can now spit fire, which,
Yeah.
which is cool. Which is pretty cool. Yeah, and here's
That makeup that they do on him.
I'm sorry.
The makeup that they do on him is great.
Yeah, it's really great. Though. Yeah, the
He looks
makeup
really
he does.
creepy. Yeah.
And like I said, even after she was burned severely, she's the fire you could tell is really close by. It's you would think she would
Yeah.
freak out.
I doubt that she even remembers that accident, though.
And here is the conclusion. It's just like an action, a Marvel film.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, just like Marvel. Where's Thanos? Just like that. It's like I'm watching a Marvel movie. I'm telling you, ahead of its time. This film is ahead of its time. Foresaw the Marvel franchise. She does not get the book though. It's surrounded in fire, but
No,
she
that
does have
always
a
bummed
ring,
me out.
and like her great aunt tells her, the power is within her.
With no, the power with her
Is
is that's the ring.
what the ring, but also the her innate power, her powers of witchery are within. That's what I got out of it. I don't know.
Well, you see her when the fat little baby,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fat little baby Elvira, she's holding the ring.
that's true. That's true.
That was so cute the way they did up that baby with the fishnets and everything. Now that would be probably can be considered child abuse.
Yes, she does. Like, you do feel sorry for her. No Vegas, uh,
No money,
no money, but
no nothing, or at least
she
so
has
it
Bob,
seems. She has Bob,
and she has
who
Bob.
can't even talk,
No,
and she has Gonk. Yeah.
well, yeah, and here comes the townspeople. They do have the shovels. Maybe they're and a saxophone. That one joke. I don't know what exactly. I don't know,
That's right. Maybe he was going to play her a song.
but maybe. Yeah, this is great. They all come
I
together, and
I don't know how I feel. I never knew how I felt about the scene when the mechanic brings her car and
yeah,
she says, "I don't know how I'm going to pay for it," and he says, "Don't worry, we'll work out something." Do you think that was supposed to be?
he wanted to fuck her, or at least motorboat her tits. Motorboat her tits. I would hope
Maybe,
that happens. That's in the extra edition. That
perhaps.
See, and this movie could have ended like so. This did not need to. I didn't need to go to Vegas.
So you think it should have ended here?
It should have ended with the townspeople apologizing. Yeah, yeah, and her receiving the letter, and then we fade to black. And
No. That I don't know. No, and I think that was the ending that they showed test screening the test at the test screening, and yeah, they went back in the last minute and filmed this whole sequence.
well, the people who did that test screening, the audience, are fucking crazy. I mean that's yeah, it's all right. I mean, the Vegas review. I mean, it's okay.
And I still to this day don't know who Shecky Green is.
Shecky Green is, I believe, a comedian, old school comedian. But before my time.
There's some people who never realized that that was really her voice.
It's her voice and her body. She has a slamming body. I mean, you have to. I mean, she look at her in this. You can really, and she still got it. She's 70, and she's still doing. I don't think
She's almost,
Yeah,
almost.
I think she used to do this as well live every Halloween. This kind of song and dance here somewhere. I don't know where, but I believe I saw a YouTube video of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she looked good. She still got it.
Did you ever see the video of her at the Edgar Allan Poe house?
No, but I did see her in the film, uh, the '80s film, Alan Quartermain, and the
Yeah, well, you were talking about that earlier, and I still think you made that up.
she's in it, and she doesn't have a speaking role in it. Um, but in a documentary, she talks about how much of a pain in the ass Sharon Stone was, because Sharon Stone,
Even even in the 80s?
even in the '80s, yeah, she was just a
Wow.
pain in the fucking ass. Um, and here she is with Elvira with her tits, and her, what would you call the tassels? Doing the tassels.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Well, it's all in the arms and the shoulders.
Yeah. And you know what? That's, you really have to work out. That's a lot of upper body, right there that she's doing. And she's really good at it.
Her daughter's a performer.
I've never seen it. I've heard daughter. I would imagine they look the same.
Have you ever seen her out of Elvira
She does. Yeah,
makeup?
I've seen her out of her costume, and she looks great.
Yeah, she's a beautiful woman.
Beautiful woman. Yeah. She seems normal and sane, which is rare.
Yeah, and the thing too is she gets to live, she's got the best of both worlds because when she's out and about,
Nobody knows
who she is.
Yeah, that's true.
Because she's really totally unrecognizable.
Yeah,
when she's not
completely
in
different
her.
person. Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's it. That's the end of the film. It was great.
Still holds up for you, Adrian.
Still holds up. Still holds up, like her tits. And, still holds up for you, Brandon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Elvira has always been a favorite of mine.
I really hope that this recording was recorded properly. I hope.
I hope so too.
God, I hope so.
Because I'm not going to be too happy if it wasn't.
Oh God. Well,
do you have any last words, Adrian?
No, just unpleasant dreams, I guess.
That's my thing.
Well, I got it.
You stole my thing that I stole from her.
You can still do it too. You can still steal it.
No, I can't because you ruined it.
All right.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh well.
Do you want to promote your Instagram or anything?
No, I ain't got shit to promote. I don't got. I have nothing to promote. What about you? What do you have to promote, Brandon?
Well, I have Instagram.
Okay, go ahead.
So you can follow me at writer Brandon Ford.
Okay.
And buy my books.
Cool.
Too, please. Yes.
Will do.
All right. So, okay, maybe. Well, I thought this was a lot of fun. How about you? You being my first guest co-host.
Good.
So hopefully we can do this again, and hopefully this recorded properly.
Oh, let's hope this recording happened. That it went through.
So yeah, I have to do the unpleasant dreams now because I have a feeling that if I don't, it'll be bad luck, and probably the recording won't have recorded properly.
Go for it.
So unless you have anything else to add,
nope.
Okay. Well, once again, I want to say thank you very much for joining me, Adrian. This was a whole bunch of fun. It made my whole weekend.
Good.
And I want to say thank you to everybody for listening. And until next time, this is Brandon Ford wishing you all unpleasant dreams.